Hi everybody. We are going to make eggplant parmesan, Rocco and I. So you get to get Rocco's mom's famous eggplant parmesan recipe. Rocco's family owned an award-winning restaurant in Canada, and Rocco's an amazing cook. I'm more the baker. I can follow directions.
No, she cannot.
Okay, so to start off with, I did not cut the eggplant. It's supposed to be about this width in order to cook well, and I may have made some of them before he took over a little thick. So, and then the first time that I helped, I cut it lengthwise. So first thing, organic eggplant, because we're going to eat the skin. Wash it with soap and water, and then cut it circular. All right, so this is 1 egg and about 1/4 of a cup of cream. Of course, Rocco doesn't measure at all. So what do we do, love?
All right, so
Any salt and pepper in it?
yeah, salt and pepper.
In what?
Usually in the breadcrumbs.
So this is panko breadcrumbs. You can actually get panko gluten-free breadcrumbs. So, and then we have our frying pan on. Do you know what we turn it on? Maybe 375?
Yeah, 375, 350.
Okay. And then we use grapeseed oil for frying because it has a high smoke point, meaning that it's really good when you're frying. Oh, our dog's coming in with our daughter.
With the daughter or vice versa?
Well, he is in charge. All right, so you want me to get started on
Sure.
the salt and pepper?
All right. Hey, Stitchy, how you doing, buddy? Dinner for you. All right, so basically just soak your veggies and then get it into the panko or the breadcrumbs, whatever you have. Just flip it over a couple times and then you're good to go. I remember the first time I did this when I was working in the fire department, and I brought eggplant into the firehouse, and there was many firemen were like, "What is that?
It looks strange.
Is it an egg? Is it a plant?
You
Is
put
it a
some
vegetable?"
olive oil in just because it tastes better.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
All right. What else goes in eggplant? We've got some organic marinara sauce. Does it matter which? Oh, right. We didn't put salt and pepper in. Shake.
That's okay. I'll put it on. No, as long as you have tomato sauce. Usually, my mother would never use the containers, but for time and schedule, it's easy peasy. She would make it from scratch, so it's easy. You would also add a little bit of Italian seasoning.
Italian seasoning. You can't go wrong with a little Italian seasoning in everything, right, Rocco? How long do these cook?
So
This big one.
yeah, so that's the bit of the problem when you cut them too thick. They take a little while to cook. So, and then basically you'll start to see them get a little translucent, and you can tell when they're cooked and just keep flipping them back and forth.
Do they get brown? Are they supposed to be brown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're nice and soft. You see, this is very, very firm, hard, not flexible. Once it's cooked, it's going to be very, very pliable.
And then it also bakes, right? Oh, you want me to do 2 to 10?
Sure.
I can tell that you are not going fast enough.
No, you are not. There's space that you're wasting in our fryer.
Do you want to do a frying pan as well?
No, it's good.
We're good?
Yeah. So you'll start to see the oil is getting soaked up pretty quick by the eggplant. So you'll run out and you have to replenish, and that's why I like using the grapeseed a little bit better than the olive oil. Just put the olive
I like
oil.
it because it's smoke point.
With the pan, you just want to either butter or spray it with the olive oil spray.
Okay, I'll spray it.
Okay. And we tried it a couple times because we didn't like it
The
clean,
parchment paper.
and it's not the same. Yes. So
All right, I'll spray it.
spray good.
And we're preheating the oven to 350.
Yeah.
Awesome sauce.
Some sauce.
start to the finish, this isn't actually all that long. It's actually a pretty quick meal. People think of eggplant parmesan as a really fancy thing, but it's actually pretty easy, isn't it?
Yep.
And it's so healthy and so delicious.
And if you don't want to use the breadcrumbs or you have some gluten issues,
Well, there's the gluten-free.
gluten-free, or you can also do it without,
Yep.
right? Which we've done in the past. So you can see the difference. This one is nice and soft.
Hold
And,
it up. I don't know if you can see it or not.
yeah, so if I can hold it up. So this one is very soft and almost rolls around on your fork.
Yummy.
Whereas one that is not cooked is not going to do that. Oh, no.
So this is the right salt. It's kind of a play on words. Normal salt is made out of sodium chloride, and there are some people, not everyone, but some people that can raise your blood pressure and help you and make you retain water. This is potassium chloride, and it's actually good for your heart and reduces strokes. Comes from Scandinavian studies of cardiovascular disease. Potassium is really good for us. And I think that's pretty close to tasting like salt. You don't really notice. I think it's a little bit saltier than salt.
It is. Okay, so basically once the pan is kind of greased, you put a little bit of
Organic tomato. It's important to have organic when it's tomato sauce. There's the Dirty Dozen. Tomatoes are part of it. Really anything that has a skin, you want to get the organic version if you're eating the skin. Although probably tomato sauce, they don't have the skin in there, do they?
no, they probably, I have no idea.
Tomatoes are part of it.
When my mom
It
used-
absorbs all the pesticides.
Yeah,
and
when my
nasty
mom used to
things.
make it, she would just mush it up into it with a hand grinder machine, so it was
Oh,
everything.
she did? She didn't?
Uh-huh.
She didn't boil and peel
No,
and
no.
all that stuff. Ooh, that's a really thick one. Sorry.
Yes. So, yeah,
So you
good point.
Fill that,
So-
show everybody.
So
how-
basically, I put a little layer of
Because you
this.
say little and nobody knows what that means.
I'm not sure how much that is, enough to cover the bottom of the pan
Thinly.
right? And then I just layer up the eggplant. So
And you only put the cream and...
put a little bit of milk in it if you want. If you don't,
No, cream and egg, I mean. You don't put anything
yeah, and
else.
you can put all the spices that you're putting in there. Just double it up. Just to,
How long do you cook the eggplant when it's layered and done?
So I usually for about 35 to 40 minutes. You just want to check, make sure it's bubbling, and then it has to set a little bit. It's like lasagna. You don't want to eat it right away because it kind of flops and moves a lot.
It's about a half hour to an hour.
Yeah. So you'll see that I'm replenishing the grapeseed oil because they soak up very, very quick. And one of the things that I'll also do with the eggplant is once you put the layer of eggplant on, we're going to put another, so that's your first layer, we're going to put another layer of sauce on top. Okay, and then you can grab a fork or something just to kind of even it out. It'll bake through anyways once it starts to cook in the heat of the oven. And then you put a little bit of cheese.
A little bit, no.
So you want
A
to
little bit is quite generous.
So you want to layer it up, and I can use Parmigiano, you can use a little bit of Pecorino, you can use Asiago, you can mix it. My mom used to do all three. She would do layers of Parmesan, Asiago, and a little bit of Pecorino, being a little stronger because it's goat cheese.
Our kids don't like goat cheese
Right.
very much, but I love it. I love that one that's like covered in cranberries and stuff that comes out at some
Christmas time.
I love that.
So usually the pan size that we have here, which is what, about a 6 by 12, I think.
Don't ask me.
Yeah, no, Spatial relations is not my wife's forte. So I usually probably get 3 good layers out of that. Depends if my wife has sliced the eggplant, you probably do 1 layer. Honestly, 3 layers to 4 would be perfect. Then you get it nice and full. So you get another layer of sauce. I usually go through about 2 containers. Yep. So 2 containers of sauce in 1 pan of eggplant. And then every second layer, I usually put a little bit of salt and pepper. Not so much salt, but pepper, and then the Italian seasoning as well.
And how long is it going to stay in the oven?
30 minutes to 45 minutes, depends.
So, and then when you have eggplant.
Depends how thick the eggplant is that you've cut. Because it takes
But
a little
essentially
while.
it's cooked.
Yes, so it is cooked, yes. But what you want to do is you want to blend all the flavors like you're doing.
Get it.
Right.
What would someone typically serve with eggplant? A salad?
So we do a salad. You could do chicken for sure. You can do it. I mean, we just eat that.
We do too, but there's
Right.
there's no protein with it.
Right.
Except
So
a little bit in the cheese.
you can do. So I would do a really cool like a buffalo mozzarella or a bocconcino mozzarella salad with the tomato and the basil and the olive oil, and I would also do
And balsamic vinegar.
yeah, and then you could also do. My mom used to do prosciutto either wrapped in melon or prosciutto wrapped in cheese. All right, so we get another layer. So this is our 3rd layer, right? So just in case you see it.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
This one's ready. Can this one fit somewhere? You probably can if you move this guy over. It's like Tetris. You move this guy over.
Sure.
See? Look at that. It's like floating in the dishwasher.
Right. So this last layer, I'm going to add, well, it's not quite the last layer, but it's our 3rd layer. I'm going to add the cheese, but I'm also going to add an additional bit of the spices that we talked about. And that way we just make sure that it gets on everything. So pepper,
Heavy Vanna.
Havana. Alicia did on that show for all those years.
I know, she looks awesome too.
Yes, she does.
That show kind of makes me feel smart sometimes and really stupid sometimes.
All right. Okay, so
Okay.
once those are done, we'll put on our last layer.
Awesome sauce.
We'll be done.
Do you cover it? Do you just put
No.
it in? Okay.
My mom
put it
used
in
to,
the middle?
yeah, my mom used to put tinfoil on it, but
Yeah.
we don't use a lot of tinfoil.
No, we don't use tinfoil.
No,
Parchment paper, but we don't need
you
it.
don't get it.
This is right before we're going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. And it's going to be delicious. Here it is. Beautiful, beautiful eggplant. Time to take it out. Isn't it gorgeous? You can actually hear it sizzling. So we're gonna let it sit for about 30 minutes and have it with a delicious salad. And buon appetito. Thanks for joining my quarantine cooking show. Bye. See you next time.